Good evening, everybody. It's Ruth Blackett, Crafting for Friends, for Inspiration Wednesday. Thank you for coming to join me this evening. I look forward to your company, and I'm just going to wait a minute while people join and add their comments that they've joined, and then we'll get cracking. We're going to look at, I'm afraid it's Christmas again, but I think there's no problem at getting ready early. You may be able to, sorry, I'm just going to turn you away from that light a bit. So, looking forward to getting down and having a little crafting session after a weekend away. Nice to go away, but sometimes it's nice to be back in the old craft room. So I hope you can come and join me. Please put comments on. It'd be lovely to have the comments as I see you. Thanks, Annette. Nice to see you. So I'm going to get cracking with what we're doing tonight. And tonight we're going to be looking at the Christmas Banners bundle, page 11 of the seasonal catalogue. It's got stamps and dies. There is another set that goes with it called the sweet candy canes. I've only got the bundles, but I do have the candy canes papers, so I'm going to use one card with the candy canes on it by using the papers. So let's have a see if I can show you the set, and then we'll get cracking. So here is the set. You've got 1, 2, 3 banners. Evening, Julia, nice to see you. And then you've got some twigs and branches, holly, a few berries. Oops, something's come right in front of my screen. And some words. So you've got seasons. They don't go. Seasons, wishes, Merry Christmas, happy greetings, just for you. 'Tis the season. 'Tis the season, and just for you fit in this one. And the separate words fit in both of these very easily. So nice set to play with. Just to show you the actual, she says, trying to find a place on the floor. So here's the actual stamp set. Most of my stamps are on blocks already for this evening. So and then you've got the dies that go with it. So some of the dies go, you can stamp it, then cut out the image. Some of them are individual sort of bits and pieces, and that'll become apparent because I think I've used virtually everything for tonight's get together. So let's pop that to one side, and so we're going to first of all do the slightly simpler one. I've got some evening evergreen cardstock. Does look quite nice with shaded spruce, but I ran out of shaded spruce, so I'm just waiting for an order of that. I'm going to just use a flat piece of white card, 1 foot inside, and just need a spare piece for my banner. And I'm going to do my banner first, and I'm going to use my trusty stamparatus for this, or stamparators, or folding over tool, whatever you like to call it. I've actually put a piece of card in there just so that I've got it all ready. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy, which just takes off any static off of my card. And then I'm going to use something called Versamark. Versamark is sort of a clear, it sort of looks white, greyish, orangey, whatever, not orangey, but it's clear, and it's clear stamping ink, because what we're going to use is we're going to do something called heat embossing, and we're going to use it to do that. But what I wanted to do, because these are photopolymer, and because sometimes when you put them down off your block you don't actually get them down easy enough, and you can see already I'm having trouble with, put that down, and I can see already that that's covered it much better than just check it hasn't moved. And then I'm going to do a second one, especially in that point there and there. There we go. So I don't know whether you may just be able to see it. No, perhaps not. Not too easy to see when it's clear, but I've got my gold embossing powder here, in a little box, and I'm going to just tip it onto what I've just stamped, so then you can see the magic happen. So here's my embossing, and just can see I've missed a little corner down there. There we go. So now it's sort of a dull, to me it's quite dull, but we have a heat tool, and I've even managed to get it nearer the desk this week. Those of you who've been to class know how this works. Sorry about the noise. This is a heat tool I've had for a long time, but Stampin' Up do one very much the same, but just a different colourway. And literally, you're using the heat to melt the powder on the top here. And what this will do will make it a shiny gold. So I'm just going to hold it away from the microphone a little bit. She says, put it in front of it. Just bear with the noise. Just waiting for something. I say I had warmed it up before, but and what's happening as I'm doing this, the powder is melting and giving me a gold shimmer. Now you can either heat it from above or below. It just makes it slightly different which way you go. So you can either do it from underneath or above. I've just done it above so I can see it tonight, but easier. There we go. And as quick as that, and sorry about the noise, you've got your nice shiny banner. For anybody coming to class on Saturday, we're going to have a little play with some embossing on Saturday. And then there's a die that cuts this out, and as if by magic I've already cut one out, so it just cuts it out to that shape. So that's ready. So now I've got my plain piece of card, which is ½ centimetre. Is that right, Ruth? I've got the wrong side up on the paper as well. So this is 10 centimetres by 14.4. Yeah. So it's just works out ½ centimetre smaller than the big card. So what I want to know is where this is going to go, and I want to have this in the central part of my card. So I'm going to use a pencil. It says having lost. Put it over there. I've got a little pencil, and I'm just going to mark off where this is going to be. So just very faintly. All this can come off afterwards. But if I don't mark roughly where my banner's going to be, because I'm going to do a sort of like a wreathy type thing that's going to go sit behind my banner. So I am using Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Pear Pizzazz, Soft Suede and Real Red for this. I don't expect you to remember all that, but you will see the colours in a minute. And I'm going to start off with one of the slightly bigger stamps, which is the fir leaf, and I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen for that. Just gonna, and so where I know my banner's gonna go, just want it just underneath that. Oh, Ruth, you didn't get the top end. Good job. You can. I think some of my inks are starting to dry out, and I need to get them all re-inked before Christmas craft day coming up. Just going to swirl this around. So I'm going sort of round in a circular pattern. This is just going to give me a base to work from. And then I'm going to swap over to the Pear Pizzazz. Put those on the side. So to open these, lift it up, push it like a compact. Don't put your finger in it like I've just done. So this is Pear Pizzazz, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of this in beside. It does change in a minute. It doesn't all stay virtually symmetrical. It's just there's a little bit of that, and I can always come back with these in a moment. Then I'm going to bring in the other three colours now. because I'm going to work out where I'm going to put my branches with my berries on. So I'm going to pop that, because that's going to give me the pop of colour. So I'm going to have one in there. You'll see it pop in a minute. One over there. So this is the soft suede. Let's go over there. And this one. Another one that's coming down there in a minute. Fill that in, and we'll have one coming out the side there. Now the berries are set, they're all on one stamp, and you just have to line them up with the branches of the twig. There you can see the twig there, so you need to just make sure that the 5 of them sit at the end of the twig branches of the twig. So you may need to turn your card around for this. It's not an exact science, but it's so you sort of get them so they look like they're part of that branch. When you first put this onto the block, the best thing to do is have it down on a piece of paper, then put your block on the top of it, because then it doesn't make it bend into a different shape and then be completely out of line. That's that little bit. I'm just going to shut these up for a second. I might be putting another red one in a minute if I don't feel I've got enough. Just going to pop some of the soft succulent now with this longer leaf. Pop that. And it really, this is it doesn't matter whether they go over the top or not, because you're just making up some pattern. It's just a fun way. What you just don't want is, what you want to be able to do is, this is going to go over the top in a minute, so you need to sort of work out where that's going to go. I can already see where I'm going to need a bit more and less. So if I pop this over now, you can see, right, I've got berries there and there, but there's a big gap there and there's a big gap there. So they're the bits I need to sort of work out what to fill it in with. I'm going to put another fir leaf down here and one in the middle at the top. About there. And then I'm going to get my brown out again. Soft suede. Put another lot of berries in there. Got some berries there, so let's see how they sit with this. So in fact, one lot we're going to hide somehow, so really we do need a little bit more over there. And as I said, it doesn't matter because some of it's going to be covered anyway, so I'm going to just have the berries coming out. There we go. And then we'll just infill that little bit with the pear pizzazz. Oh, there we go. And one, just put, this is what I do all the time. I do it all, think less is more, and then cover it all up. But actually you'll see how this works in a minute. So I think I'm happy with that for the minute. If I'm not, I can always come back again. So here's my banner that's going to go. Is that the right way up? That's the right way up. So my banner's going to go over the top like that, but I want some words on there. So I'm going to put Happy Christmas on that bit. Clean those off in a minute. So I've got Happy and Christmas. Never when you use photopolymer stamps, if you're using the reds and oranges and that, they will stain. Don't worry about that. It's just what happens, and it doesn't stop it from working or anything like that. So you can carry on using them. That's not a problem. It's just that unfortunately it stains the photopolymer. But if you've got lots of stain stamps, it means you've used them. So, and then the Christmas is going on the bottom one. So Happy Christmas. There we go. So we got the Happy Christmas on there. See that all right? Happy Christmas. And then to finish this card off, all I'm going to do is raise this up with some foam pads called dimensionals, and then sit it on the top and then stick it onto my card. So you don't need a dimensional on every single little piece of space, but I would on this put it on the ends, just so that they don't bend, you know, it doesn't get bent in. And these just either come off with your fingers or pokey tool, or, and if they don't come off, just pierce in the middle and pop it up. And that's that. I would say it's about right. And then that's going to pop on there. So just a little bit of wet glue on this one, just to pop it in place. Just want to flatten that bit down because it's a bit raised. And just make sure it's sort of evenly. The one thing with wet glue is you just get a moment to make sure it's in the right place. There we go. So first Christmas card virtually made. I'll just put some glue on there. Put our glue rubber, where are you? Get that off in a minute. Okay. And then I'm going to use some of these really pretty red and green adhesive back pearls. And then they've got gold and silver in with them as well. So I'm going to use the little gold pearls here just to highlight my picture. I'm going to have one down there, one there, and one over there. So my triangle of 3. And there we go. Okay, so card number 1. Number 2, very similar but a different way around. I'll just pop that on the windowsill. Let's get the bits ready for this one. This one I'm doing a little mix and match with the so I'm using again the Evening Evergreen, and the soft succulent is going to be my first layer, and this is cut so it's a landscape opening rather than a portrait opening, if that makes sense. Then that goes on there, and then I've made this one another centimetre, half a centimetre smaller again, so I've got another layer, and this is where I'm going to do my stamping, and then we're going to use this banner this time, and we're going to put something on there in a minute. I've used for the banners, I would certainly recommend using the Stamparatus if you've got one, because you can re-ink it again. Sometimes when you just pop it down once, it doesn't give you enough of the dark colouring in here. It's much lighter, and I found that if you do it with the Stamparatus, you can do it a second time and then you get it a much better finish to it. But if you haven't got a Stamparatus, just make sure you've got plenty of ink on it. Okay, so this time I should have, I'm going to swap, I'm just going to swap a couple of them round for the colours. So this time the bigger leaf, this one even, this one here is going to be in the softer succulent. And the other thing I could have put on that one, but I didn't, which I will put on this one, is the holly leaves. So this banner is going to go across the middle. So what I want to do is I need to just mark up again, just because I'm doing a similar thing. It's only just so that I know where things can overlap underneath and where I just have to be a little bit careful. So I've just, and those pencil marks, you probably can't see them very well, but I can see them here, and they're just so easily removed afterwards. So this time there, then my my chamois, I had my chamois just then. A little bit of the dark green. And the pear pizzazz is going to come on this one. Again, it's quite randomised, and if anybody ever watches Ruth Trice, this is sort of, she does big one-sheet wonders with bits and pieces like this. They're absolutely beautiful. Right. Back to my mucky red one. I'm going to have red fingers again tonight. Oh, I've got green ones as well. Okie doke. The brown one was here. So back to doing some more. I'm not sure how many of you are with me tonight. Usually I can see how many are here, but can't see it tonight. So thank you for those who've joined me and those who then watch later on catch up. I know quite a few of you do that. So I'm going to have 3 of those this time. Right. So where have I got it now? There. Try and do this upside down. That's fun. There we go. Just about fits on that piece of card. Look. Okay. Now this, I need another branch of the this one. Now this time we're going to bring in some holly leaves from the set, and I'm going to do it with the dark one. Just going to put these all get cleaned up in a minute and washed and put away. There we go. Let's get the dark evening evergreen, and I'm going to pop some. There's a couple of holly leaves in this, so we're just going to have some holly on this one. Oh, half a holly. Half a holly. Go up to the other half. There we go. And they go different directions. There we go. You know what I haven't done? Those of you who come to class will know how much I pipe on about this, putting a piercing mat underneath. And that's why the other, I've got away with the others, but not with the holly. I'm just going to stick some holly in between. Another piece over here. Let's see what that's going to be like now. Okay, so we just want some more little bits up there. So a little bit more of that one in there. Fill that bit in with the lighter colour. Got enough pear pizzazz. I'm happy with that. And then just a little bit of this, just tiny little bit showing. Don't want it so deep in the middle. And back to the holly leaf. Right, I think, yes, okay, just about there. And then for this one, where's my trusted one cutout leaf? I should have a second one here as well. So I've cut out 2 of the leaves using a die cutting machine. Oh, nice to see you, Sharon. Thanks for joining. We're just doing we're doing a second card. You can always look back or just sit on what we did earlier. I do a recap in a minute. So I've just cut out these. Well, I didn't just do it. I did it before we came on. Just shut my ink pad up so that's out the way. Now I can take that away because I've finished stamping. Clear the decks. So this one is going to have, what am I going to put on there? Christmas wishes. So I'll get the Christmas bit back because I've still got that on, and then I'll change the one with the wishes. Oh, I've already got it on another block. So as I said earlier, if you pop, for getting these on straight, if you just pop it on one of these line or something and then pop it on. So for this one I'm going to use the real red. No, it's no worries, Sharon. It doesn't matter what time you join, because it's always they're kept on here as well, so you can always go back and pick up anything, or fast forward if you can't. So the Christmas I'm popping in there, and the wishes I'm going to pop on this side. They just look nice inside these ones. So you've got the Christmas wishes inside the banner. So I'm just going to clear my space of all things inky, because I've already got very inky fingers. That definitely can go away now. So now we're going to make this one up. Just going to rub those pencil marks that I put on just to tell me where to put my leaves and that. And then we're going to use some ribbon on this one as well. So I've got some Evening Evergreen ribbon that's going to go around. That matches in with the cardstock. Just going to pop a little bit of tape pen on that side. Thinking I have got it on the desk. So a little bit down the middle on each back, and then this is going to go through the middle of this design. I'm going to make sure it's straight. Cut that off. We're not doing a bow tonight. Oh yes, we are doing a bow, but slightly in a different thing. So now I've got my ribbon across. I'm going to pop this on this card, and I will use the tape runner for that, just because it's here. But normally I'd use wet glue because it just goes a little bit further than the tape runner. That's the right side. On your cardstock, you've got one side that's slightly rougher than the other. The smoother side is usually the one you want up. and then again, but we will go back to wet glue, Tombow wet glue. Here we go, just around the edges, and pop that on. So now we've got 1, 2, 3 layers, a piece of ribbon. We've got our banner ready because our banner is going to go over the top of that, but this is when this leaf is going up the top here, and this leaf is going there, and our banner's going on the top, and that just lifts it up just slightly more. And I'm going to use glue dots for this. So I've got some glue dots here. Let's find them. Pop your thing on it and then just pop that on the top. Give it a good squash, and it should come away. So that one's going to go in there. The other one's sitting there waiting for me. I'm falling on the top. Push it, give it a push. Okay, and then underneath. And then some more foam squares or foam hexagonals, as Stampin' Up do. These are called dimensionals. And oh, oh, that's clever. Let's get another one because I managed to get. Right, and then just take the backs off these, and then we're just going to work out where that's going to sit. It's about halfway. Give it, and then fix it down. And then for this one, I've got some. Couldn't see the name of these, but these are the ones with the sparkles in. I'm not sure whether we've still got these or whether these are the ones that I had from last year, but I thought they're really pretty to pop on your card. So I've put I put my usual 3 on. 3. There's that one here. So 1, 2, 3. So that's card number 2 done. What I will do is I'll show you the inside of the ones I'd already made up, but I've got the inside layer, and I will put some words on that, but I'll show you what I've done in a minute. So that's card 2. So the last one we're going to have a little look at tonight is using some papers using this same set. Oh, which all just gone on the floor. No. I've got to pick up all the berries. Hold on. keep talking amongst yourselves. Oh, Ruth. I have these all prepared, you know, and then they happen to be sitting on the. So we're going to use all this lot in a minute. They're just sitting on the edge of the table, and I've just knocked them down. Right. Let's get the recipe for this one. Yeah, these banners are really, really nice. And you don't just have to stick to them for Christmas, because you could always put happy birthday. You can always find another stamp that has that split up. This time I'm going to use the 'Tis the Season, and I've used the slightly bendy one. What we've got here is some white cardstock folded, so for it's a C6 size. A layer of this is garden green, because this goes with these papers, which are the papers that are, let me show you the other page. So I've been using the banners from this, and these are the papers, so they're like the candy canes and that sort of thing. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I've cut out these candy canes, because one of the other sets actually has the candy canes in them to stamp. And then you get some other dies in that set. I haven't got that one. I just got the banners one for what I wanted to do for this Christmas for myself. But I thought I could show you. This is one of the papers, and I've cut cut that up. That's the other side, but we're going to have the stripy side on here. So we're going to layer that up using a little bit of wet glue around the edge, but not right to the edge, so we don't squirt it out. Little blob in the middle, and then that's going to go like that. And I'm going to build up the rest of my card front before I stick it on. And I'm going to use a piece of vellum. So this is just clear vellum, and I've cut that, what was it, 8 by 10 centimeters, and that's just going to go in the middle. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to cover it over and you don't want glue showing on your vellum, just pop a little bit in the middle at the back, because if you're not careful with vellum, the glue shows through and can go yellow. You might be able to see it there, but this piece of paper, this red piece, which is another piece from this set, is going to go over the top. So it's sort of, we're layering up some papers and that this time to sort of build up our design. So our first card was sort of flat on the card with just one piece over the top. Second one was about 3 layers. This one's going to be a few more. So here my candy canes all cut out. I've stamped this one and put the 'Tis the Season on, and I've used the dies for these. Now I've got slightly less berries than I was anticipating, because there should have been 5 berries and I've got 3, so there's 2 more floating around somewhere. And what I did, I wanted to show you how I put these berries on. These glue dots are absolutely perfect for these berries, so I've sort of put mine on in a already on here, and literally, well look, I take a pick tool, lift it up and pop it over the top of the sticky dot and push it down. Then when you want it, you just lift it off with a pokey tool or even with your fingers, because it's now like a sticky dot, and you can pop it on your little branch just like that on the end, not to your finger. And then you'd build up your little things of berries. So as you can see, I'm lifting it, just want to put it on the top of it, not on the middle. These do help. If you're very gentle, just stick it to the stem, and then you can lift it up in a minute, and it's easy to lift up. So they're all stuck on there. So I was going to do that with 2, but it doesn't look like I've got enough berries at the minute, thanks to my disaster of dropping things on the floor. So use this end. So this end is sort of there's a piece of, oh, I like, oh, there goes the wires. It's like a bit like blue tack, but it's not. But what it does, it lifts up your small pieces, and then you can pick them up and either put them on your design or put them on these glue dots, as I've done just now. So I've only got 3 berries for this one at the minute. Should have to find, find the other 2 in a minute. They must be somewhere here. They're not in the card. Okay, well I can show you what I want to do, and then I can stick the other berries on. Oh, one more berry. I only need 1 more now, and if we're lucky, we place this right, it could be hiding underneath and we won't need to worry about it. Right, so I've cut out a large, there it is, look underneath. Oh, so exciting when you find things. I lost the lid to the Versamark this afternoon. Well, and I was due out for 1 o'clock, and at 10 to 1 I was still looking for the lid. And I said to Andy, my husband, I said, I can't find the lid and it's going to all dry out for tonight. And he said, you just leave it, I'll look. And when when I'd got to the place I was going to, I got a text message saying I found it, and it was stuck in one of the boxes, and I hadn't seen it, and I'd probably looked at that box about 10 times. I think things deliberately disappear. Right, I don't know why that wire keeps falling down, probably because I've knocked it. Right, so my candy cane, sorry, largest circle from the stitched around one, so it's got a little stitched edge into it. So that's going to go there, and that's going to go on some dimensionals as well, because I just want to lift this up. So just make sure I've got the right side to stick these on. Probably 4 or 5 is more than enough for this to keep it in place and keep the card together. You have to be thrifty as well as. And then this is just going to sit in the middle of my card like that. So don't forget this is my what I'd call my topper. So then I've got my candy canes, which I'm going to sort of arrange somehow like that. That's going to go over the top there in a minute. So let's work out where I'm going to put my, right, okay, so get my wet glue and pop on my first candy cane, which is this one. I'll put this one on. I have one slightly higher than the other. Our candy canes in place. Then I want to put these leaves on, and yet again I'm going to use my glue dot for that and press it right down so it comes off easily. And I'm not going to press it right down onto the card yet. I'm just going to work out the positioning of it. Oh, I've got a glue dot on my hand, I think. Then these ones I want to come down. This is these are Pool Party. These are cut out in Pool Party, which is the bluey colour of the paper. So I tried to keep the colours in with the paper designs that that come out. So right, and then this one will go in there. Not that. Tis the season. Right, perhaps I want to see my candy cane a little bit more than that, so I might run. That's it. Put that one down. Right, I'm going to trim this off because this is going to poke out, so just trim that off so that it can sit underneath, but it's not poking out. So that's going there. This one's going to have a glue dot on it as well, sticky dot, whatever you like to call them. Pull that off, and that's going to go in there. This one, these because they're bigger leaves, I can use a little bit of the wet glue to pop that out there. And I'm just going to do this one as well so it doesn't just show through. So literally just cutting off that little stem just helps to fit it underneath my banner. That one. Right, that one's got the glue dots are stuck on that, so that's that one. That one can go under there. And then this is going to sit over there. Right, so I'm just going to, so this one may be one of those cards that has to go with a large stamp. Mind you, this year, I don't know how it's going to be a bit of a nuisance if the postal strike continues and we can't get things in the post for Christmas. I reckon the best time is to make them now and send your Christmas cards soon. So I think that's my layout for this one. And then I just find the card base and pop that on the top of it. And then we'll recap over what we've had a look at this evening. So that's That's number 3. Let's just make sure with the wet glue you've got plenty of time to wiggle it around a little bit. So that's number 3. Let's clear the decks. So our first one was the Happy Christmas, and this is the one I made before I did that. And then inside I've put from, now which set is this? I've got a couple of word sets that sit inside cards. I've got the Hope and Peace or the Christmas to Remember. So I've put one of the Hope and Peace ones, wishing you the hope and peace of Christ this season, in this particular card, and just stamped a couple of the holly leaves in there. So that was our first card. Then our second card was this one, and in this one I have put may this be a Christmas to remember and cherish, and I've just put a little sprig of fir leaves. And I hadn't made this one up per se, I've just got the idea of what I wanted to do. So I would put another sentiment in there, whatever you want to. The stamp set we've been using has got 'tis the season, and you can put Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas, Season's Greetings, Christmas Wishes, you know, whatever you wanted inside really. It's just and this set from last year and is still around, Christmas season. You can do very similar cards with this, using the banners or using the label dies that came with that last year, and that does mix and match with this set really well, because you've got the fir leaves and the extra branchy bits as well, so you can make it a bit bigger, and you've also got the fir pine cones. So we've used the, what do we call it, the Christmas Banners bundle, which was the stamps and the dies. We've used several of the greens and that colours from catalogue. We've used Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Pear Pizzazz, what was this one? Garden Green. Yeah, we've used Soft Suede and Red. So I think we've used quite a variety of colours, and we heat embossed this. Those who are coming to class on Saturday, we will be doing some heat embossing then, and lots of stamping and that. I'm still working on all the designs. Having been away for the weekend, it's sort of all systems go. So I hope you've enjoyed that little playtime tonight. It's inspired you to get creative yourself. Please, if you do want to, please make things up and share them online. It doesn't matter if they're from Stampin' Up. Ideally, is for me it's helpful if it's Stampin' Up, but if it isn't, it doesn't matter. It's just your ideas, and then we can share with each other what we like to do. So looking forward to seeing you, those of you who are coming to class. If not, I'll see the rest of you again next Wednesday evening if possible. Okay. Thanks everybody for your comments. I really appreciate you turning up and coming with me tonight. Bye for now.